Hello, everybody. We're live. How you guys doing today? We're going to talk about the stages of grief. And this time I've got my internet is working correctly, so it won't be a problem. Yeah. So, okay. So we're going to start with I'm just trying to get to, so I can play it. So at least I'm in here. Come on. This is just interesting to me. Many entertainers are cutting ties with the Kennedy Center. What? I'm still here. Let's go back. Live. I am live. Okay. So. Canceled their concert. Singer to the national. There are others. Oh, I see. Which one am I supposed to be in? It's just interesting. I mean, so is this me? That's not me either. I'm so unsure where to go. Delete. Delete. Okay. What's going to happen is every time someone comes in, you're no longer you're taking yourself away from a table. I'm confused. I see nobody is here. What is grief? Stages of grief. Crap. Hello, hello, hello. Yo. And it's still dark. Something's wrong. Okay. Hello? Okay. I'm on now. All right. Welcome to the channel. I'm still not sure what's going on. Volume. I'm having some technical difficulties with StreamYard. Oh, and okay. I think I'm all right now. It's not. Oh, I have to close that. That's what I have to do. Okay. So I think I'm okay now. Let's do YouTube again. Oh, it said edit name, edit audio avatar. If anybody's here, say hi. I still don't know what's going on. I'm gonna back out quick and come back in. Hello, I am here now. Hopefully, doing good over here. I'm gonna do this. I do. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. We just wasted a good 8 minutes with technical difficulties. So, okay, no. Okay, today we're talking about the stages of. I am going to pull up my article that really looked good, and we're going to go over that. I am so sorry about what you're seeing now. I was making the stream and then I deleted it, and making a stream and deleted it. I don't remember what I was looking for something. And so I think I messed up the StreamYard thing. And so I am not able to get on my StreamYard from here. I am not able to get on my StreamYard. Stages of Grief Live. Oh, there it is. Okay. Here we are. Okay, I can get on there. So we're just going to leave that right there. Okay. So, hey, Jen, welcome. How are you doing today? I saw Miss Joe's video. Oh my gosh, so cool. So cool. I know she was really looking forward to that. So today we're going to talk about 7 stages. Some school of thought, the first one was 5. And then now more recently, some doctors have broken it down into 7 stages, which is supposed to be a little bit more specific, I think is what we're talking about. I just got out of my doctor's appointment and not home yet. No worries, Jen. No worries. I'm just going to start the reading and talk about the stages of grief. I had some tea today. I'm going to put my glasses on because I need them. If you weren't aware, lady, and I'm not a doctor. I've just been through a whole lot of stuff, and that's what we're going to be talking about. Hey, Brandy. Yeah, so happy for her. Yeah. How you doing, Brandy? Okay. Article here. I know. Share. Back over here. This one here. Hanging in there, we got 5 inches overnight of snow. I know this snow just keeps coming and coming and coming. I'm like, is it ever gonna stop? I don't know. nice, but I don't think it is. I wish it was like degrees out already. I'm ready for spring. So um snowy and it's cloudy. It's a little sunny, but my internet seems to be doing kind of whatever. Having connecting. There we are. I know. Yours is all melting. Well, you need the water out to that side of the country, don't you? Or no, did you not have any issues with the wildfires? Okay. Here we go. 7 stages of grief and how they affect your mental health. Okay. Please be advised the below article mentions trauma-related topics and includes suicide, substance use, or abuse, which could be a trigger. And then it gives some crisis lines. This is BetterHelp. So I've never used anything from theirs because usually it's an advertisement and I don't care for it. But this shows all the stages of grief. So yeah, this will be the first time I've ever used an article for Better Health. Oh no, you're not getting it in the mountains. Tonight it's going to be -12. Well, you can keep all that snow you want, Jen. You can have it all. I'm okay with it. But it looks like all the snow is in the middle of the United States. Like I think even Texas. Yeah, that's why I don't use it. But this is a really good article and it's not going to cost anything. We're just going to read it. And it's a good article about the 7 stages. Yeah. Yeah, we wish we could give it to you, Jen. We really do. So, and we're going to go slow. We may not do all the stages today, depending on what you guys want to talk about. And if you want to talk about something other than grief, you are fine to do that. Sometimes we get off topic, sometimes we don't. And if that happens, we don't really care. So, I'm going to have to clean my glasses. I thought I was ready. And then, because my computer was on, I was on, and then I went to go onto YouTube just to make sure I was showing up. And it all went to crap. It took 10 minutes just to fix that. Yeah. So, but we are going to get back on track. We're going to do this stages of grief. And I definitely want all your opinions. Please don't feel afraid to talk. That's how we learn. All right. Throwing that away. Now I can see. Let's go. 7 stages of grief from Better Health. If you have ever experienced the loss of a loved one or a significant change in your life, you have likely navigated the various steps of grief process. Although almost everyone experiences grief at some point, it is a personal and unique experience. It's definitely unique, right? Because we talked last week how you may grieve something differently than I do. Your grief is not my grief. And I may grieve something that you wouldn't grieve, like the loss of a house or the loss of a job or just the loss of something significant to you. Okay, Jen. So, and I think Brandy, we talked recently about your mom, how you missed her. And I know we've talked in the past about your dad has already passed as well. So, and like I said, I lost a house and a job. I lost the job to disability, so I really can't. I can't get another job. Okay. So I had to grieve that. I had to grieve the not bringing the big income that I was bringing in and not being able to spend money like I was spending. Oh, I'm grieving that shopping. I tell you what. And I get the bug every once in a while, and I have to make sure I have to calm down. Um, so, yeah, there is that. So we can grieve many different things: the loss of a pet, the loss of a car, anything significant to us, the loss of a friend. I'm not sure what other things, but there's other stuff in there too that you can grieve. There are no rules. I don't want you to think there are rules, because there aren't. We all grieve differently, and um in our own way. So let's go back to the article real quick. While grief can be an overwhelming and the pain associated with it is real. Let me put you back here. Okay. While grief can be overwhelming and the pain associated with it is real, it may be helpful to understand that it is a natural process. Identifying the various stages of grief, such as the denial and bargaining stages. You know what to expect during each and can help you understand the emotional changes that occur following a loss. Starting online therapy and exploring helpful resources like support groups or coping strategies can be beneficiary for many experiencing grief. I would say we have like a group setting. Understanding the grieving process. Okay. Any event that results in a significant change in life can cause feelings of loss. Events that may cause grief can include a move to a new location, a divorce or breakup, a job loss, the death of a loved one due to a terminal illness. And then we also talked last week about the death of a loved one suddenly, how that's a different type of grief, and much more. Some events can lead to complicated grief or even clinical depression. And that's what we were talking about, complicated grief. I had never heard that before. So I'm glad they're going to address that in here. Feeling overwhelmed in a grieving situation or questioning how long you will have these feelings is not uncommon. If you are experiencing grief, it is okay to feel a shift in emotions or even experience moments when you feel numb. It's important to allow yourself to grieve, feel all the emotions, and know when to seek help, such as support groups or counseling. Everyone experiences grief difficult or differently. However, common grief symptoms may include okay. May include intense sadness and feelings of emptiness or loss, numb disbelief about the loss, making it hard to accept, difficulty concentrating and making decisions affecting daily life, changes in appetite, either eating more or less than usual, disturbed sleep patterns such as insomnia and sleeping too much, withdrawal from social interactions and loss of interest in activities once enjoyed, physical symptoms like headache or stomachache with no apparent medical cause. If you are grieving, you are not alone. Everyone experiences the emptiness and isolation of grief from time to time. Grieving marks the beginning of adjusting to a new reality without a loved one. Often, a helpful way to move forward after a loss is to allow yourself to go through the stages of grieving and use coping strategies like seeking a creative outlet or connecting with family members. In addition, services like hospice can help families and loved ones cope with the inevitability of death by providing physical, psychological, and spiritual support. Okay. All right. The 7 stages of grief. There are various grief stages, including anger, denial, and other stages not widely recognized. While the grieving process may be split into 5 stages or more, everyone experiences the stages in a particular order. Some may experience one stage more than once for different lengths of time, as the grief process varies from person to person. Right? So it says that you can go through them in order, but it doesn't necessarily mean you will. So, for example, one person might experience a stage for a few days, while another might experience it for several weeks or months, right? And there's no time limit on grief, no time limit. What did I say last week? I said you get through grief, but you don't get over the loss. You really don't. But you can get through the loss and continue to live and be happy, but you still need to grieve that loss in order to move forward through the grief. Okay. Okay. The grief stages are all normal experiences of grief, and it's essential to understand that there is no instant relief or quick fix. When it comes to healing, it's important to acknowledge your feelings, seek support, and give yourself the time you need to gradually lift slightly from the depths of grief. In 7 stages of grief include shock, denial, pain and guilt, anger and bargaining, depression, reflection, and loneliness, the upward turn, reconstruction, and acceptance of hope. Some stages and emotions, such as denial, anger, bargaining, and depression, might last longer or shorter than others. Everyone copes with loss differently depending on their mental health, personality, and relationship with grief. We've included a more in depth look at each stage of grief below. Okay. So if we get through this article before 3, then we're probably going to quit early, just so you guys know. Shock and denial. The early stages of grief, shock and denial are typically when emotions are most profound. The fact that you've experienced a loss may be evident, but you may still have underlying feelings of shock, disbelief, or panic to try to deal with the situation. So let's see. 1, 2. Okay. So the shock and denial is one stage. Okay. Shock, disbelief, or panic as you try to deal with the situation. Excuse me. During the stages, many people experience physical symptoms such as nausea or vomiting, difficulty sleeping, decreased appetite, or heart palpitations. As these medical symptoms lessen over time, feeling emotionally numb is also common. Some people may describe this stage as feeling as if they are watching someone else's life on a movie screen, as if they are detached from the reality of what has happened, seeing things differently than before. So let's talk about shock and denial for a minute. Hi, Wavy. How are you doing today? Let me get a bigger picture right here. So shock and denial. So I've been talking about when my grandma passed away, how I did go through a little bit of denial before she died. Freezing and it's so icy. I know this weather is yucky. Yucky, yucky, yucky. And we have a lot of ice too because when it snowed the big snowstorm, then it warmed up enough for the ice to melt, for the little bit of snow to melt. Not a lot, just a little bit, just enough to put a sheet of ice under that. And yeah, it's very dangerous. Jen had to go. I'm not sure if Brandy is still here. So hopefully they'll see that. Yeah. Yeah, and it's so just yucky. It's yeah, it's all ice. We have some icicles hanging and that concerns me too. But yeah, We have to be really careful when we're driving. And then I had a friend who didn't realize that it was icy. She thought it was wet and she slipped and bumped her, hit the step, I think, with her head or her neck. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. It's, yeah, you have to be so careful. How have you been doing lately, Wavy, besides the freezing cold? I got my little air thingy. Oh, not good. Oh no. Do you have anything going on that you need to talk about? Because I think it's just me and you right now. Absolutely. You feel free to IG me. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. I'm usually paying attention and I've been keeping up. And you did get to see Joe, didn't you? Yeah. You got to see Joe, I think. Let me go back over here. Um Instagram. I am beyond exhausted in my mind. Oh no. Yeah. Yeah, you got to see her. Yeah, you got to see Joe. Yeah. Have you been super busy or just you're just like at the point of I can't absorb any more into my brain? But absolutely don't you worry. Go ahead and you can IG me personally. You don't have to go in the group chat. You can just go right to mine and send me messages. So it'll be more private unless you want to talk. Super busy. Yeah. Yeah. For the past 3 months and still not here. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, no worries. I know when I get super busy, um, like my husband laughs at me, but sometimes I'll forget to feed the cats, and he's like, "You forgot to feed the cats," and I'm like, "Oh man." He doesn't understand that there's so much in my head that I've got so much to do, so much going on up here. He just sees me sitting on the couch. He doesn't realize my mind is going 100 miles an hour, right? So yeah, yeah. I've been pretty good. The kitties have been good. They are stir crazy because that kitten is just going crazy all over the house, knocking stuff over. I'm surprised he's not in here right now. My big cat's in here. I don't really have any other kittens in here right now. But yeah, that's how my mind works constantly. Right? And he just doesn't get it. So I do have a calendar I write stuff down on. I missed an appointment today. I did call and reschedule it, but I'm like, I really needed to go to that appointment. Why didn't I wake up? I don't know. And then after I get done here today, I'm going to my sister's. We have some stuff to work out for her business. I'm the IT guy and also the electrician. So she's got an outlet that needs to be changed. And I'm going to try to do it. But if I can't do it, she's going to do it. So, yeah. But yeah, I understand that. The kitties do help. It is. Every single day, right? Life is challenging. And every once in a while I get a day where I can just do nothing, and that's what I do. Nothing. I just veg out when I'm watching CSI and Discovery of Witches now on Netflix cuz I canceled Netflix, so I've been watching that. And then CSI on Paramount Plus, I think it is. And I enjoy that too. I'm that lady, if you saw the meme on Facebook, it says she cries when an animal dies in a movie, but then she binge watches serial killer shows. So that's me. And I'm sure I didn't say it as funny as it was. I don't have cable, just apps. Oh, okay. We have those are apps, Paramount Plus and what's the other one? Netflix. So Netflix has Discovery of Witches. Oh, I love Dexter. I just finished it like 2 weeks ago. Dexter, and then I watched Dexter New Blood. If you get it, you have to pay for it everywhere unless you get Paramount Plus Showtime. Yes, true crime. Love it. Love it. If I can't find anything at all on TV, I'll watch Oxygen, or I think we have True Crime TV on whoever has the good stuff on. ID, I love ID. Um but yeah, we don't have cable. We have YouTube TV, which is my daughter's Prime. I watch it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. CSI is so good. And that was the only place I could get the Dexter New Blood. It's only a season, but it was well worth it. I had some accrued some points, like you know how if you order stuff from Amazon, or if you don't, they if you combine your order together, if you don't just buy one item at a time, if you buy two or three and you let them deliver them all at once, sometimes they'll give you like $1 or $2 credit, something like that. And so I do that because I don't, if I need it right away, I usually just order a single item and they don't offer it. So I bundle them together and then I get so many credits. They paid for most of the Dexter show. So that's one way to get it almost free. And you can rent, yeah, yeah. You can pay for the season, but I just find it so expensive. I think it was 19.99 for one season. You're up to the latest Dexter. So good. That TV show was so good. And now I'm curious about Dexter Original Sin. Right? Right. I just can't. It's expensive. I'm not sure if you could rent it. I didn't notice that option, but it could have been there. Yeah. I think if it was there, I probably would have done it because it would have been cheaper. This one is original. Oh yeah. And I haven't seen that one yet. So I was watching the original Dexter from, when did it come out? Like 2000 or something? Or the 90s? I can't remember when it came out. I think it was 2000. Thanks to my daughter. Yeah. That's great. Yeah. And so I'm thinking about getting Showtime 2006. So I watched those in order. Then I watched the Dexter New Blood. That I had to pay. I think I paid $7 for the one season, but it was 19.99. So I felt pretty good about that, and it was well worth it. So if you can get that, that's really good. And then I haven't watched Original Sin yet because we have to add Showtime. It's the only way you can see it. It's the only way you can see it. Do you watch it on Prime? Mm. Oh yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. The if you add Showtime, which is where they make this show, yes, Prime, her Prime. Okay, so she must have something where she can get more, maybe Prime Plus. I've heard of or something. Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm excited about it, but I have to add Showtime, and so I'll be doing that when I get done with CSI, probably. And this Discovery of Witches, I'm gonna finish pretty quick. My Netflix ends in March. She's got a few channels. Okay. Oh yeah, because you can add them on Prime. Yeah, yeah, I understand now. Yeah, that's nice that you can share that with her. Because doggone Netflix put the squash on that, and so if I'm not watching it, I'm canceling it because you can go month to. I go month to month, so I canceled it, and then I probably won't get it till next fall if I get it. My topic today is grief, and we're going over the 7 stages. I don't know if we'll get to all 7 but we're going over the stages of grief is what we're doing. So before you came in, the only one I went through stage 1. So let me put back here and then we'll go over that again real quick. So according to Better Health, the first stage is shock and denial. And it says the early stages of grief and shock and denial are typically when emotions are most profound. The fact that you have experienced a loss may be evident, but you may still have underlying feelings of shock, disbelief, or panic as you try to deal with the situation. And what I was talking about earlier, I still can't believe my step grandpa. Yeah. Yeah. You think they're going to live forever. I worry about my mom sometimes. Not a lot, but sometimes I worry about her because we're pretty close. So, yeah, that's going to be difficult for me. Um, I was in disbelief before she died. So, I don't know if that counts. I didn't think when they told me that she was going to have to go to hospice, I was like, why? She's fine. She's talking. She's a little out of it, but that is to be expected after she had whatever situation she had. And then I'm like, why would she have to go to hospice? And then my sister had to say, because she's gonna pass away. And what happened is before she even we made the arrangements for hospice, she died in the hospital. I lost a lot of people, but he hit me the most because he was young. Oh, yeah. There's a different kind of, we're going to talk about that after the stages. There's a complex grief, and then even one where you don't, where it's a surprise, where it's like, bam. My grandma was in the hospital in and out for several years. So we knew that it could be a possibility, but there's a different kind of a different type of grief where someone just you don't even they don't seem sick, they're walking around, they're doing their everyday whatever, and then all of a sudden they're gone. Yeah. And he was really good to this dysfunctional family. That's yeah, those people, the good people, those are the ones that hit you the hardest, I think. Yeah. And I'm assuming that you guys were close because I was real close with my grandma. Okay. During this stage, many people experience physical symptoms such as nausea or vomiting, difficulty sleeping, decreased appetite, or heart palpitations. As these physical symptoms lessen over time, feeling emotionally numb is also common. Some people may describe this stage as feeling as if they are watching someone else's life on a movie screen, or as if they are detached from the reality of what has happened, seeing things differently than before. Wrong one. Oh, the family you don't speak to, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's gonna, yeah. hmm I totally understand. And grief can take years, months, days, depending on how close you are with the person. But there is no time limit, Wavy, for grief. Just remember that. You may grieve him for a very long time. Um, and and that's okay. That's okay. I lost myself. I do think about him every so often. Yeah, that's the way it is with my grandma. So I was in denial before she died, but not after. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that was grieving. You know what I mean? Because she hadn't passed away, but when I had to put it in my head that she was going to pass away, then I was like, okay, she's I think for me, it's the shock. Maybe that's what, yeah, yeah. Because, when that person's not in your life anymore, say you're going to go do something that you always did with your dad, um, but they're not here anymore. Like I used to take my grandma to go grocery shopping, and then all of a sudden she wasn't here to go grocery shopping with, and it would hit me. It would, waves. We say grief comes in waves, right? And so it'd be waves. And I was unpacking something the other day. This is why I've been talking about my grandma. I was opening just some stuff that had been packed away at the old house that hasn't been opened yet. Well, they live in Florida, but he used to drive down every year. I mean, and you still loved that person, and you still feel the loss. Yeah. It's still grieving. It's all still grieving. Yeah. I opened her knitting bag. I have her knitting or crocheting bag, and I opened it and I got a whiff of her perfume, and that was like, um, that was it hit me that day. So, see, and you did communicate a lot. So that's still an important person in your life, someone significant to you. And that was the thing. Grief is you grieve things that are significant to you. Yeah. Yeah. So it could be a person, it could be a pet. For me, it was also a job or um what was the other one? A job. Oh, my vehicle. The loss of a vehicle can be hard. And I'm not to say one's more important than the other. So we can't everyone grieves differently and about different things. So we were talking last week about how the worst the worst sentence I think in the English language is get over it. Um, it's very just um, inconsiderate um, to say to someone get over it. We don't get over grief. We get through grief. We live every day, but I don't know if the grief ever goes. I mean, it gets less and less, but you still feel the loss of that person. You know what I mean? So we talked about that a lot last week. Um, yeah, the loss of anything or someone can be difficult. Yes. Yes. And so to say to somebody, oh, it was only a cat, to you, it was only a cat. To me, it was significant. It was like my baby, you know? Um, because some people say, well, it's not like it was your kid. Well, it was kind of like it was my kid. I didn't give birth to him, but I raised him from a little kitty. I loved him for whatever 15, 20 years. And I knew his personality. I knew my cat, things like that. And so people who do say get over it, I think we need to address that. Our pets are our kids, absolutely. I think we need to address them and say, I'm never going to get over it. I will get through. I will get through the loss of whatever my loss is, but I'm not going to get over it. It's always going to be with me. It's going to be part of who I am. And I'm not going to be depressed for the rest of my life, but that person or whatever is always going to be in my heart. So, yeah. So that was one thing, like that statement, get over it, is just really, it annoys me. Yeah. Yeah, it annoys me. I don't say it and I don't like it to be said to me. Yes, and that's okay. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I don't know where Miss Jamie's at today. Oh, there's two people here though. Um okay. So we just talked about the shock and what was the other one? The shock and denial. So maybe what I felt at the time was more shock than denial, I think. They should keep it to themselves. Absolutely. Absolutely. That sentence should get you I did a punch in the nose. I don't advocate for violence, but sometimes you just got to use it. Especially if it's family that's being like that. All right. We said people can experience physical symptoms from shock and denial. Um, Sometimes they feel numb, seeing things differently than before. Okay. The next one is pain and guilt. Once your shock starts to fade, you might begin to notice the pain of the loss. The pain may feel physical as well as emotional. You may feel guilty about something you could or should have done for the person, even if it's irrational. Yeah. During this stage, it is normal to seek reason and wonder if you could have done something that would have prevented the loss, or feel remorse for not being able to make peace with a loved one or maintain a healthy relationship. Although these feelings can seem overwhelming, they are natural emotions related to grief and part of the grief model. It's crucial to acknowledge these emotions and seek support, such as counseling, to help you cope with the complexity of prolonged grief or prolonged grief disorder. So the pain and the guilt. I have to say that if they provoke you, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So I have to say about the pain and the guilt. I spent a couple years before she passed away. I spent my whole 2008, I was laid off. I spent that whole year pretty much helping her, visiting her. Um And then when I went back to work, I mean, she was sad, but I still would go over there at least once a week, not as much as when I was laid off, but I would try to go once a week just to visit her, see how she was doing, maybe have coffee or something like that. And so I definitely felt um the pain. I didn't feel guilty because, like I said, she was a long time sick. She had had open heart surgery. Um she had bad cholesterol, so we knew she was not well 100%. And so I didn't feel guilty because I got to spend those last years with her. And we had a disagreement many years ago. We got over it, so I didn't have any yeah, she knew that I loved her and I would tell her that. Yeah. So so as far as that step, I think I felt more the pain of her loss than the guilt of her loss. So, yeah, I agree, Wavy. She did know. Okay. Um, During this stage, it's normal to seek reason or wonder if you could have done something that would have prevented the loss, or feel remorse for not being able to make peace. Oh, I already read that part. Okay. Anger and bargaining. It's not uncommon for someone who is grieving to experience feelings of anger or frustration. Those who experience grief feel many emotions and thoughts that can be difficult to process. Some people may feel resentment toward the person responsible for the loss, such as a drunk driver. Others may have feelings of anger directed toward God or a higher power. Some who grieve might even experience stages of anger toward the lost loved one and may blame that person for leaving them, which may also cause them to feel helpless. Okay, that's the length of anger and bargaining. So, yeah, I hope my grandpa knew how much he meant to me and why he did for this crazy family. I think he did. I think he did. Especially like you got to talk to him over the phone, even though you couldn't physically be present there. Still, being present over the phone is still very important, especially if it's a long distance person. And like I said, what was I saying about my grandma? We knew she was gonna, she wasn't in 100% of health. He was only in the family for 15 years. Well, he made a difference for you. So making difference for one person, Wavy, is but cut too short. It is hard, but he made a difference in your life. And I think that if a human being can do that, um, give someone a feeling of safety or comfort or friendship or love, that that's a life well lived, right? Yeah, I think so. Now, if my mom, she's in good health now. So if something happened to her, I would go through the stages of grief differently because she wasn't sick for a long time. My husband, that would crush me, I'm sure. I don't even know if I'd be able to do a live with that going on. So, but again, like my aunts and uncles, I'm not really close with, and I don't talk to them every day. And I know my mom would be sad if they passed away, and I would support her, but I'm not really close with them, so I don't think it would affect me as much as if it was one of my sisters or my brother or my husband and my mom. So the anger. Now, if she was doing something she shouldn't be doing, I see where the bargaining and the anger could come in. Like if I had only helped her, you know. And so I don't wish that on anybody. So, hey Zach, I know this isn't true, but in the back of my mind, I think my brother doesn't like me because his last words to him were "I hate you" after an argument. And that's the bargaining part, I think, Zach. That's the you wish you could have done something, but you weren't able to, and you didn't expect him to pass away, and you didn't know. You didn't know. So I think that he knows your heart. If you believe in an afterlife or God or whatever you may believe, I think he knows your heart and he knows that you do love him. And because if you believe in another world or excuse me, a higher power, you believe that he can see you and he can hear what you're saying and he can feel what you're feeling and things like that. So yeah. And I know you know it isn't true. Um, but I understand how it's still in there. It's not the easiest to get those intrusive thoughts. It's really hard to get those out. Yeah. And we do. I only talked to my oldest aunt who took care of me in the family, just her. Yeah. And we all say things in anger. And that's true, you know. I may feel differently if I had had an argument with her and then she passed away. So, but I do know now that I'm older and wiser that she does know I loved her and that I sometimes feel that she is with us. Hey, Joe. Hello, beautiful people. I'm only here for a few minutes. Well, you got to go and have an awesome time. That's why you got to go. It looks like you're having so much fun. It's so good to see you. And when you get back, you'll have to tell us all about it. So I know you're having a good time. Hey, Joe, looks like you're enjoying your much needed vacation. Yeah. So we're going to finish this article today, Joe, but we got plenty for when you come back. So you keep having a great vacation. I don't want to switch to the other page because I don't want to miss it because I know she's only going to be here for a few minutes. We just hit, what did we just talk about, guys? Anger and bargaining. Let's see. Depression. Oh, no, that's the one that we're going to read next. Yeah, anger and bargaining. Here, let's go back. Plus, the puppy hotel said Buddy is doing amazing and his breathing is a whole lot better. That's great. So he's having a good vacation from you, huh? Is Buddy being spoiled at the puppy hotel? I think yes, Zach. I think he's having a great time. But he had, I think before he went, he had a little bit of a congestion thing going on. She's in the Caribbean on her cruise. They always spoil Buddy because he's so friendly. Plus, he loves the snow, and it snowed there. Yes. Oh, he's having a great time. I saw that the snow that we're getting was coming from the south. And yeah. So enjoy that warm weather. I hope you're getting a good tan. Zach. Snow. It's not a bad word. You can hear my kitty. What are you doing? They are getting what is that? I said it earlier. Where you want to go outside but you can't because it's snowing, you know. What is that called? I don't know. I have a little blocks of memory, and I didn't take my medicine today. That's another thing. I didn't take it yet. I'll take it when we're done, but I should have taken it already. Okay, Joe. Cabin fever. Yes, they're getting so bad with it. So bad. Like the toys that they have, they're not even playing with them. They're just looking at me like, why can't we go outside? Why can't we go outside? Why can't we go outside? And I told Keith, even if it hits 30, I'm going to let them go out because even though 30 is cold, it's better than -5. Yeah. All right, sweet people. Love you all to the pool. All right. Have a great time at the pool. Love you too, Joe. All right. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go back and we're going to do depression, reflection, and loneliness. During this stage, a grieving person generally begins. Come on. Can you jump on me? There he is. Say hello. He said, hello. Hello, everybody. See how pretty I am. Yeah, he wants attention. And I've been trying to give it to him, but I can't. I mean, I have to, clean a little bit. I have to watch a TV show. He is a handsome boy, and he likes to snuggle. He's my snuggle bear. He'll jump up he'll jump up and just be like, I just want to be in your arms. Okay, are you done? What are you doing? I don't like it when he does that. He just put his claws in. So you need to go. Okay, he might jump up again later, but we're going to go ahead and move on. I know they do. And since they're stuck in the house, they want my attention. 3 cats, 100% all time. Excuse me. So, yeah, it's a little bit much. Okay. So, depression, reflection, and loneliness. During this stage, a grieving person generally begins to reflect upon the loss they experienced and how it has affected their life. The reality of the loss may be felt more during this stage, as attempts to bargain for more time are not realized. For some, this might be the hardest stage because it involves confronting deep sorrow and emptiness. Withdrawal, withdrawal from others to deal with feelings of grief alone is a common occurrence during this stage. A person might also experience hopelessness or confusion about their own future. While personal time is important, it is also crucial to have a support system of people to lean on during this stage of grief. Some people may benefit from being in nature and having more space to think clearly. Um, so that was depression, reflection, and loneliness. I notice the one thing that I do like that they are doing is they're using more than one word to describe. They're using more than one word to describe a category. It's not just anger. It's anger and was it bargaining, I think. So I do appreciate that. Now, this one is the upward turn. During this later stage of the process, your initial intense emotions associated with grief may start to fade. It may be so slight that you don't even realize it at first, and you won't feel relief immediately. You may feel a little less pain, a little less sadness, and more positive emotions. The upward turn. Okay. Go back. Reconstruction and recovery. For many people, mourning is a process. The process is not always about feeling stressed or overwhelmed, though, during the reconstruction and working through a phase of grief, a grieving person begins to work through the aftermath of grief and loss. This stage is as much a part of the grieving process as all the others. However, it may seem to take a different turn since during this stage, you might begin to feel a sense of control over your life again. Reconstruction and recovery. So you're on the way to recovery. Okay. Acceptance. Acceptance and hope represent the final stage of the grieving process, or one that allows you to reflect on how the loss has shaped your whole life. Accepting a loss does not mean that you simply get over it. I'm so glad they put that in the article, or are content with what happens. Rather, it is part of the process during which you can acknowledge the loss and feel okay with moving forward in your life. You might now be able to experience memories without suffering through despair, for example. During this final stage, it may become easier to talk about your loss you have experienced. You may be more likely to open up about your feelings and thoughts with family and friends. While you might still have moments of and feelings of sadness or regretful, this stage typically represents an ability to accept what has happened and to reflect upon good times rather than dwell on the sad thoughts associated with loss. Seeking help from a mental health professional. There's no right or wrong way to grieve, and there's no exact timetable. Getting through this pain, however, can be extremely difficult to do on your own, and friends and family do not always have the insights or tools needed to help. This is where they add the commercial. Uh, there you can get help. The mental health professional can provide support through all grieving process stages, from denial, anger, bargaining, and depression to acceptance. Licensed therapists and psychiatrists are familiar with Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, DSM, and can offer insights into normal grief versus complicated grief. They may be able to teach coping mechanisms and practical ways to regain control over your emotional state. including sadness, loneliness, and other associated feelings of grief. And so I do recommend therapy. I mean, everybody doesn't want to go to therapy, and some people have bad history with therapy. But if it gets to a point where you're not starting to come to acceptance, you may want to seek therapy just to help you get through that part. And like I said, we don't get over the loss of a person, we get through. We experience the waves of grief and we get through it. And even though you're accepting it, doesn't mean you're over it. And don't feel that you should be over it as well. Let's see. There's a common misconception that online therapy isn't as effective as in-person counseling. Peer-reviewed studies debunk this myth and instead suggest that online grief counseling could be equally beneficial. And then here's the rest of the commercial. You're matched with a licensed professional. Okay, let's do the takeaway. Loss is one of the most difficult hardships we'll endure. The stages of grief may feel out of our control and can release a lot of painful emotions. Knowing the signs of grief and having strategies for taking care of yourself may be helpful. And so that's the end of this. Okay, let's see. Why am I not talking? Oh, I'm on the wrong one. I need to be on StreamYard. Okay. So I have something to do after this. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and go. And unless there's something else you guys want to talk about, this is the time to let me know. If not, I'm gonna shut down a little early. I'm gonna give you a few minutes if you still want to chat. Because that's what I'm here for, to listen and to be supportive and just to be a great friend if I can. Yeah. No, you're fine, Wavy said. Okay. Are you still here, Zach? Oh, goodness. I think I need to do some chair repair. We can do it next week. Okay. Okay. Well, I will see you on IG. I saw you sent me some messages. And yeah, no worries. I'll get to that as soon as I'm off here. And I guess that's all I have for you guys today. Have a great day too, Wavy. I appreciate you so much coming and chatting with me today. Bye, Zach. Bye, everybody. Bye. End stream.